Hey y'all. Excuse my wrinkly ass t-shirt. So it's been a while for Shop Gal podcast, Shop Gal Diaries. So welcome back. It's been a long ass time. Like I think I started season two and then I just went away and was like, I'm out this bitch. Um, yeah, I started 2023 on my own journey, and then the universe was like, nah, sis, you got some things to take care of. So I thought I'd do this video podcast, vlog, whatever you want to call it, to tap in because some things have changed some stuff around in the ether world. And I wanted to let you guys know where I am, what's going on, what's happening with Shop Gal Podcast, um, the new platform, Dear Black Creatives, a new business venture, a nonprofit, specifically Black Tattoo Anthology, and all of these things that are happening. So I thought I would do this video because it's going to be the quickest, easiest way to do it without me getting in my way, without triggering perfectionism and all of those things that happen when you want to make things all pretty and shit, right? So, hey, hi, nice to see you here. It's been a while. Um, for anyone who's new and joining me, my name is Imani K. Brown. I am Imani K. Brown, excuse me. Um, I am what is known as a tattoo priestess. I don't know anyone who has this title. It is a self-proclaimed title. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But and why I made this title in a minute, but also I wanted to share where I am, what's going on, and what I'm moving into, what I'm elevating to and growing up in. And I'm very excited about this life. So, a little bit about me. I've been tattooing over 20 years now. I am the second Black female tattoo artist in the US. Um, I love tattoo, like love it. It is something that connects me to my ancestors. It is something that connects me to other people's ancestors and just collective energy in general. It is also a formidable way to express. It is known as the way for identification, communication, and healing in ancient times. And I want to bring those things back, even in a pop culture light. I think that it is worth it to have these conversations and to bring light to what tattoo really is, what it's meant for, and what you are conjuring essentially when you get tattooed, and why you should be cognizant of these things, why it's important for artists to be embedded with these sensitivities to be able to help better guide um, uh, enthusiasts and wearers through their own tattoo journey. Because I see tattoo artists as more of like shamans in general. Um, so yeah, so that's me. I am a kawaii aesthetics girl, so I am super pastel. I'm actually super pink more than anything. In most cases, you can see my hair. I am generally pink. Uh, and let's see. Um, Quick resume. I went to Clark Atlanta University. I graduated with my bachelor's of arts. My concentrations are photography, printmaking, and painting. Printmaking led me through a whole journey of enjoying, exploring, and becoming a whole cultural nerd about what's called ukiyo-e, which is Japanese printmaking, Japanese woodblock printing. Um, and a lot of my work started being inspired by that. Excuse me, not only that, but I love anime. I'm a big anime nerd. More manga specifically, I'm sorry, than anime. My godfather in anime, who I follow, is Osamu Tezuka, who is actually the godfather of anime. Considered the godfather of anime. If you don't know him, he is uh He is the daddy of Astro Boy. He's the creator of Astro Boy. Most people know Astro Boy, and most people also know this one is The Lion King, right? The Lion King was originally a story stolen, and I won't get on my soapbox about it today, but it was stolen, and it is Simba, Kimba. I'm sorry, I'm getting characters mixed up. Kimba, the White Lion. So that story is the original story of Lion King. I absolutely love that story. I also love the dialogues around the storytelling, and specifically the Disney one. Black people see themselves in the Disney version, and it's just like, yeah, guys, that wasn't for us. But I get it. I get it. Anyway, I love manga. Actually, my favorite stories from Osamu Tezuka, just gonna take you down a quick tiny rabbit hole to show myself. My favorite stories are this manga called Dodoro um, and Blackjack. In Blackjack, I love Pinocchio. And in Dororo, I love Dororo. I love the concept of these stories, and I'm not going to tell you about them. I will challenge you to look them up, or just message me and let's have a conversation about it, because they're great conversations and conversation starters and storytellers. So I'm not going to tell you the story here. I'm going to say if any of this is like, what's she talking about? And you're just like curious and your curiosity is pinged and all of that good stuff is peaked, hit me up. Let's converse. One of the things I will tell you is that I am socially awkward, and not pretty much not in the negative sense. I'm just very protected. I'm very guarded. So, and I'm a high introvert, so I don't talk much without being prompted. So things that prompt me are shit like anime and manga. Aside from tattoo, those are some of the easiest ways to actually prompt me. You want to know, like, you want to pop my top and you're like, who is this girl? What's she about? I'm curious. Start talking to me about manga. Start talking to me about anime. Start talking to me about things where we can look beyond what we can see with our natural and naked eye. That leads me into the biggest thing that I am in life is trust nothing, examine everything. My mom taught me this as a youth, and it is something that I lead with. So I also run business that way. So, I invite my clients, I invite people who are looking to work with me. Trust nothing and examine everything. Examine the things about me. Examine, I'm not saying like come up to me and quiz me and be all negative, but examine the things. You got questions, ask. You like the vibe and you're like, I don't know why the fuck I'm here, but I'm here now. Let's get curious. Let's get into it. Examine the things. Trust nothing, but examine them, because a lot of times when you examine them, you'll find what it is that you need from there. It's not always what's at face value. And I find this a lot with tattoos and with things like manga. So, and storytelling in general. So yeah. Um, so that's me in a nutshell. What else about me in my short, quick resume? I had one job in my life. My one adult job was at Ritz Camera. Um, at Ritz Camera, I got fired. I got fired for stealing $20 that I didn't steal. So, in getting fired for stealing $20 that I didn't steal, excuse me, the white guy who was sent to fire me actually told me exactly what to do to live my best life and enter into the next phase of my life of being, of being fired. What's funny about this and what's pretty fucking serendipitous is that I had already told my mom before I went to college that I wasn't meant to work for anybody, that I would one day own my own business. Of course, when people start dreaming big and you don't know where the things are, like the resources, all of these things are going to come from. And I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I'm the first generation entrepreneur. So I say this, and I said this at like 16, 17, maybe a little younger as we started doing the college journey. It was just like, I'm not going to work for anybody, mom. I don't even know why you even care. And my mom's like, hush, child. But that You're in the clouds, right? Um, lo and behold, I work for myself. I own my own tattoo studio, Ashe, at Ba. So with that, um, being able to understand that I wouldn't work for anybody, and that I wasn't really meant to work for anybody. I had this one job, it was out of necessity, and it was because I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing next, what my next steps were, right? So I did the things that made sense out of necessity, not, not out of I need to find the thing, right? A lot of us in certain points in our life, we don't have that luxury and we have to do things out of necessity. Now, what I will say is that I follow breadcrumbs that led me to tattoo. So aside from, following breadcrumbs to get tattooed, I talk about this in my book. One of my favorite chapters is called The Ancestors is Calling, where I talk about how as a self-harmer, I end up going to go get tattooed. The conversation that pretty much piqued my curiosity and just kind of laid the breadcrumbs there. I call messages from the universe when you have to kind of piece them together. Everything doesn't just come to you where it's like an aha moment. I call them breadcrumbs. So, these breadcrumbs just kind of are scattered about, and I follow the breadcrumbs and they lead me to getting tattooed. Now, in this particular life, in my adult life, I follow the breadcrumbs while working that lead me to actually becoming a tattoo artist. It's fucking wild. But also meant to be. Hold, please. But also meant to be. So I follow these breadcrumbs. I have a great time following them. I'm not going to say the journey was easy, but it was interesting. It was one that was worth all of the curiosity because 20 years later, your girl's still tattooing. Um, so there's that. And I start to fill in the gap, becoming the second Black tattoo artist, the second Black most prominent Black female tattoo artist. It's very important to be specific and to use the semantics. So if it sounds really, really long, it's because it's really, really long. Um, these things that we describe are journeys, right? So when you start describing something in a title, you're not describing just the person, you're describing the journey that they took to become that person. So while the tattoo priestess isn't exactly short, it's not exactly long. There's a lot in that 20-year journey. In this, talking about what's happening here, in getting my first and following breadcrumbs, it was a very, very long, it was a very long journey. So in describing that, I can't make it any shorter. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. I end up following the breadcrumbs. I meet my tattoo master not once, not twice, but three times before he actually becomes my tattoo master. Shout out Chris Mensa. And we'll talk about him more when we talk about Black Tattoo Anthology. So I end up going down this journey. I follow the breadcrumbs. I end up in tattoo. I become the second most prominent Black female tattoo artist of the US. And then I end up attracting a lot of who I am, a lot of what I'm healing from. I end up in kawaii lifestyle. I end up forming what is the premier community, the premier kawaii community for DC kawaii style. And all of this is like accidental. I'm literally just living my life. I found Lolita, a Japanese street fashion, and I was wearing it to work because it made me happy. It made me feel good. It made me feel like what I call hiding in plain sight. I'm not the happiest person, or I wasn't at that time the happiest person inside. I wanted to be able to trigger these things. So I would use fashion, I would use art, I would use things that were expressive to express what I wanted to be able to surround myself with, what I wanted to trigger myself with. And that is the magic that I call kawaii. And specifically because I'm Black, Afro kawaii. I'm not the only Afro kawaii buff, but I do use the term diligently. I do speak on the philosophy of Afro kawaii, all of these good things. Anyway, I end up opening my own studio after building a very great and loyal clientele base and pretty much sharing in other people's journeys. Again, I'm attracting a lot of what I'm healing from. So it becomes more of peer to peer healing and communal therapy, not just me trying to heal isolated or these individual bodies trying to heal isolated, but both of us healing and coming together. In that coming together, magic will often happen where I'm conjuring, summoning, and invoking spirits, not on purpose, but because it was something innate in me. So, very naturally, talking to my ancestors and going inward, or talking to the ancestors and talking to the spirits of the person who is getting tattooed. I can't explain to you. How I was able to access that. But in being an empath, and I forget which C word, it's Claire something, that I am. I forget them because I'm also dyslexic, so, it's a lot of C's. It's like clairvoyant, Claire, Claire something. I think it's like 3 of them. Whatever. I'm clairvoyant in that sense, in that, I can talk, I can speak, I can commune, I can relay messages. I'm very intuitive in that way. Creative, intuitive, intuitive, creative intuitiveness. Geez. Creative intuitiveness is a communication tool for me. And my modality is tattoo. That's pretty much what it is. It's not just tattoo and the artistry that I love. It's the unseen things that we don't think about. It's the lessons in tattoo that are for everybody, even though tattoo isn't for everybody. The lessons in tattoo are for anybody, and there's so many life lessons in tattoo that I've been able to learn, that I've been able to grow through, that I've been able to pass on, all of these things. So now that we're here, let me tell you about being a tattoo priestess because that's what it is. Um, at 20 years, technically, I would be a master tattoo artist. These are things that aren't always talked about in tattoo culture anymore. The hierarchy, how you actually grow in tattoo, these things aren't always talked about anymore. Sad but true. And there are levels to tattoo. You don't just stay a tattooer. You can, but you can elevate. You can elevate to become a tattoo artist. From a tattoo artist, you can elevate to become a tattoo specialist. From a tattoo specialist, you can elevate to become an expert within those things. You could become an OG artist. You could become more of a mentor, a teacher. You can also, become an owner or a CEO, all of these things, but at the very top, at 20 years, you become a master tattoo artist. That means that you've probably gone through all of these tiers. Whether or not you own your shop is not the thing, but being able to say that you're well-rounded in the industry, that you've had experiences, that you've experienced and had to live through and navigate the nuances within the culture, race nuances, as well as nuances with your clients, nuances with communication, nuances with emotional intelligence, all of these nuances that are in tattoo, all of these nuances. And well, I thought nobody's talking about these. And that's where I live. Like, I live in the gray area, in the in between of tattoo, where it's not just about the art, it's not just about the canvas, it's more about the communing. It's more about what healing happens within that communion, what healing, what transformation happens in that collaboration. It's not just about you come in, you get a tattoo, you leave. It's literally about what happens, what unlocks, what transforms, what releases itself when you get tattooed. How are you healing? How are you now identifying yourself? How are you now communicating with the world? How are you perceived? How do you want to be perceived by the world? And then also, when you go home and reconnect with yourself, when you take your clothes off, how do you want to perceive yourself? Because those can be two very different ministries. So, my title, while self-curated, I do plan on starting a little priesthood maybe of tattoo artists, because there are more tattoo artists who are shaman. There are more tattoo artists who are doing this innately, just as I once did, without understanding what we're awakening to, that we are reclaiming things that have legitimately been lost, within the diaspora, within the slave trade, within colonization, calling it what it is. It's just, these things have been lost. One of my greatest philosophies that I want to start uncovering and unfolding is about communication. And if tattoo was an identification tool to say that you belong here, to help classify and group people, right? Among tribes, among nations, and among men in general, among, men meaning man and woman. But, in that, when colonization happened, one of the first things that goes is communication. The other things that go are cultural practices, which tattoo is a both, right? So with that gone, my theory is that it was purposely demonized, so that it would shift our mindset into thinking that it was something bad, so that way we wouldn't want to do it. We would be shameful of it, just pretty much embedding that kind of shame imposter syndrome thing. Um, Embedding it so that we would start to break down our own walls of communication, of keeping people who aren't supposed to be in out, that we reshape our idea of what we call gatekeeping, because gatekeeping is necessary. I mean, it's an unpopular opinion, but it's necessary. Gatekeeping, like anything else, is not all bad. It may not be all good, but it's also not all bad. A secretary is a gatekeeper. An admin person is a gatekeeper. Hell, your voicemail could be a gatekeeper. Anyway, breaking down those ideals that would help us gatekeep our society, help keep us safe, help keep us where our culture, our community, our beings, our wellness is intact. Over time during colonization, I do believe it was broken down, and in that, tattoo was also shamed. So with tattoo being shamed, then we start to shame ourselves for getting tattoos, for having, wanting to indulge all of these good things, when really it's something that's of us. So with that, in this priestesshood journey, I will be breaking down, I'll be doing research, I will be sharing with you, all that I find, all that I explore, and all that I personally experience in tattoo, that is within that in between, in that doorway, just right there in the cusp, just holding the void, just everything that's in that void, all of those nuances, because they're all very, very important. It's all information and you got to read it like tarot cards. So there's that. So where I've been now that we're here, is pretty much being forced to embrace the paradox of slowing down to speed up. I talk about this on another podcast, a Shop Gal episode actually, where I talk about the paradoxes of slowing down to speed up. And in talking about the paradoxes of slowing down to speed up, I talk about how we are so trained to go, 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 that we don't find value in when we're not able to go. They say all the time that if you don't take rest, your body will sit you down, right? We don't find value in what it is to get sick. Sure, nobody wants to be sick. I'm not saying, yes, find value in being sick and we want to be sick. But when you come down with a common cold and things that we are like, this is a grave inconvenience to my life, your body's slowing you down. Maybe there's something you're missing. Maybe there's something you need to do. Maybe there's a realignment or reset that needs to happen. Maybe there's protection being had. Who knows? Who knows? But with that, being able to say that truly slowing down is a necessary process to speed up. Slowing down is a necessary process to be able to go forward at maximum speed. So I've been enjoying the process of slowing down to speed up. I can't say I'm mad at it because 20 years of hustling, of go, go, go. And I can say 20 years because I definitely have turned from a private studio to an appointment only shop, or turning into an appointment only shop. Um, but it's always been just me. I've always lived by the words, if you don't work, you don't eat. My fiance started helping me reframe that. But this year, going from mid 2023 to now, in this moment, yeah, kicking my ass. Yes. But in a great way. Some things that happened for me to have to embrace slowing down include things like hold, please. Um, include things like not being inspired to talk about tattoo, which gravely affected my marketing, which affected me being able to call in tattoo clients, which meant that money was slowing up. Um, split focus because I wanted to focus on Black Tattoo Anthology. And being able to focus on Black Tattoo Anthology meant that I needed to not have focus on tattoo. But if tattoo is my only money, honey, then I was doing myself a grave disservice with this split focus. So trying to or having to align myself there, and recalibrate, and become more open, more adaptable, to what's to come. Um, let's see what else. I got sick. I got a head cold. Uh, my cat broke my computer. She chewed on it, um, begging for attention, and in chewing on it, begging for said attention. That ended up becoming more of I can't work. So even though I was in bed, I couldn't work. All of these things. Some of these things felt like they were a huge burden. They felt like I was a burden to other people because I had to ask for help. And what was happening instead was my hyper independence was being broken down so that I understand that receiving is just as much a part of self love as giving, right? Um, lessons that happen in tattoo as well, because my clients have also called me out on this, not being able to receive tips. Not that I don't want the extra money, but I just want you to pay your bill. So if you say, "Hey, tip me," "Hey, can I send you a tip via PayPal or something?" I used to be like, "No, that's not necessary." Now I'm just like, "Child, here go a Cash App, here go my PayPal." Whatever. But it took so long to get there, to understand that I'm worthy and that this is them sharing with me that I'm worthy. Not only that, but me not being able to receive meant that I was blocking somebody else's blessing, which is what I got yelled at about. So I've been embracing the paradox of slowing down and speed up. Again, I talk about this in another Shop Gal episode, and I would say go check it out. You can actually search to get to it. Um Yeah. So my business has been restructured in all of this time of me slowing down, which was something that was completely needed. So it's not like, like something happened and it was a grave inconvenience. What happened what seemed to happen to me was happening for me so that I could focus on the things that I really, really needed, that really, really needed my attention. Getting clarity around Black Tattoo Anthology, restructuring and cleaning up my business so that it's ready to hold Black Tattoo Anthology and its weight. Um, Organizing my ideas and the things that we've done in past and being able to see what I want to keep, what going forward, and what needs to go, what doesn't serve us anymore. All of those things, all of those things, all of those things. I've done all of those things. And I'm not complaining about it. It's been a journey that I'm extremely grateful for. But I can't say that sometimes it felt like, Lord, why me? But again, it's happening for me. Just like, some things happen in your life for you, they don't happen to you. And this is that essentially, is that it happened for me, not to me. So, not mad at it. It is what it is. Got mad organization done. You can go to Little Ink Play Shop. You can see all of my current offerings and how to work together. I'll talk more about how to work together before we end this. But yeah, so I've been throwing around Black Tattoo Anthology a lot, BTA, which is the new Bay. Black Tattoo Anthology was or is powered by a Little Ink Play Shop, but now it's becoming a nonprofit. The Black Tattoo Anthology was originally envisioned as a book. That's it. That's it. The book hasn't even been written yet because I had to unravel myself and what we're really trying to share in Black Tattoo Anthology and really explore what the spirit of this brand is, um, to go forward. So I've been doing that, which has been a lot, but not bad. So there's that. So in doing that, we now have Black Tattoo Anthology. It is a lot of things, but the biggest thing is that it is a platform to celebrate the artistry of diaspora, um, tattoo artistry, obviously, but also the artistry that leads us to tattoo. That could be graphic design, that could be dance, that could be you having gone to college, because there are so many people who have actually gone to college, gotten degrees, and says, you know what, fuck this degree. My life is over here. This is where my purpose is in tattoo, right? So it is a celebration of all Black tattoo artistry. It's a celebration of Black creative intuition. And it's the only one and the first of its kind. It's an African centered tattoo festival, not just a tattoo show or anything like that, not just a tattoo convention. Originally, it was a convention and then it turned into a conference. None of those things felt right because that's not all it was. And a festival is so many big things. Black Tattoo Anthology is dense. It's dense. It's a lot of history there, a lot of unpacking of 20 years of observing that I get to bring forward, right? Um, it's ancestral veneration because it's about flowers for the living and flowers for the deceased. Flowers for our living ancestors who are still paving the way and making sure we go forward, and flowers for the ones who are in heaven, who are guiding us, who lead us to tattoo, who lead us to our creativity, who lead us to, I don't know, everything that helps us find our purpose, find our path, find our destiny, so that we can walk closer to it and eventually within it that we uphold it, that it supports us and we support it. So Black Tattoo Anthology is a lot of things, but earlier I mentioned my tattoo master, Chris Mensa, Black Tattoo Anthology. as an ancestor platform, uh, I can't bring it forth without giving flowers to the person who, essentially birthed me in the tattoo world, who helped rear me in the tattoo world, and that's Chris Mensa. He's a big brother. He is a baba in some senses. He is an immaculate guide. Just everything, you know. Um, so yeah, so you'll learn more about him through Black Tattoo Anthology because one of the first living ancestors that we're giving flowers to is him. I can't go forward in saying we're honoring, things that we've lost without even honoring my own ancestors that are right here. I can touch them, right? A lot of times we're taught to look at things far beyond us. And external of us when really we should be looking in our own backyard first and foremost, giving reverence to the things that reared us, that helped us succeed in our own backyard first and foremost. Chris Mensa not only lived in my neighborhood, so I'd seen him before and didn't realize I'd seen him before, but when I had that one job at Ritz Camera, I was the one processing his pictures. And I'm the one who told him, like, oh, yeah, your tattoos are really cool and they're on dark skin and blah, blah, blah. Because you couldn't find tattoo artists who would tattoo dark skin at that time. My tattoo artist that day when I was talking to Chris Mensa was a white man. And he knew him. That's how small the tattoo industry is. But he knew him, right? And I was loyal. Like, it's wild. That's a wild story. We'll have another talk about that one. But in that, and being able to meet him and talk about that and chuckle a little bit because he laughed at me. I was like, I got a tattoo artist. It kind of sparked something. It ignited something about something that was missing within our culture, but belonged to us originally. And then the third time I met him, he tattooed my hand, like right here. It's upside down. But he tattooed this daisy on my hand. Daisies are they mean like hope and happiness. It's very simple meanings. So in my journey of wanting to trigger and surround myself with things that made me happy, I wanted this little daisy. I was celebrating my first procurement of a government contract for photography. And I went out and got tattooed. And when I sat down, he literally looked at me and he said, "Hey, neighbor." And I was like, "I don't know you, what?" And as I opened up, because also in that space of working with him, of going to go get this one small tattoo, I started bragging on myself and like, I started saying everything my portfolio couldn't say because my portfolio wasn't with me at the time. So I started telling him how he would never be sorry if he got me as an apprentice, that, I would make sure that I did the work, all of these things. I would make sure that your name is carried with me, all of these things. I didn't understand I was talking lineage. I didn't understand I was talking family and dynasty and all of these things that are engulfed in Black Tattoo Anthology. That's the wild thing. I didn't understand what I was talking then. I was just talking about shit. And now I can really talk my shit, right? 20 years in, really talk my shit. But that conversation laid the foundation because he gave me his card. He told me to contact him at a certain time, and I treated it just like I was getting a job. Like I was interviewing for a job. So he gave me his card, he told me to contact him at a certain time. I contacted him at a certain time, and he invited me to the shop. I guess I did good because I never left. And I am still one of his best proteges. Um, I am the only girl protege, same way I am the only girl in my immediate family, in my sibling bloodline, and I'm the youngest. I'm not the youngest protege that he has in terms of like, other people came in after me, but I am the only girl. And that is why I also call myself the queen among kings, because you will often find me holding very powerful spaces and speaking my shit and being revered and respected by most men. And I can often be the only girl, and it's my favorite space. I love it. Love it. So, as Black Tattoo Anthology and all of the good things, moving forward, you can expect more talks like this from me. You can expect more communication. You can expect tarot and reads. I read people intuitively, and I can read information, especially for tattoo, obviously. But being able to translate that into communication going forward. Excuse me, tarot is going to be the best. Not only that, but I've been reading tarot forever. I just never told people because I didn't want to spook people, right? Um, excuse me. So there will be reads. There will be posts about reads. There will be ancestral reads about tattoo and just life in general. And today I actually asked my ancestors to speak to me directly through a specific deck so that my guides can also help guide. They're pretty knowledgeable. So I'm pretty excited about that. They say yes with balance. They say yes with balance, which means that I can't OD on this. But, as things come up, I will share them and hope it helps somebody and reaches who it needs to reach. Um, Let's see, tattoo. Tattoo, my books open in March. They open March 1st. So if you want, you can submit a tattoo request now and get on my wait list. You can submit a request. Once you submit the request, it's going to send you right over. You can book a consultation so you can get started before the tattoos actually happen. So before you actually want to get tattooed and before my books open, you can start your process and we can get you going, get you in there, get you suited and booted. If you need a payment plan, things like that, this is the perfect time to go ahead and start so that you can sow those seeds that you need so that you can go into a tattoo process with ease. I like ease filled tattoo processes. My studio has always been for trauma informed tattoo above all. So it is all about the whole person, how that person feels, how that person is, able to release. Do you need inner child play? Like what are your needs and your hierarchy of needs so that we can make sure those are met so that your tattoo process, your journey is the journey that you deserve, that you came for, that you paid for. Sometimes people need payment plans, and that way, they could just go forward and get tattooed with no problem. Some people are just like, I just kind of want to come and pick up the tattoo, and just pay and get it out the way. Whatever your jam, the process is so that it's easy for you to pace yourself, and I can still walk with you. Even though it's automated, I can still walk with you. And if you have a question, you can always email me and ask. So it's not like just because it's automated, nobody's going to be around to help you. There's always somebody around to help you, namely me, because I'm pretty OCD about customer experience. So there's that. So tattoo is open. I will have my travel dates for anybody looking for me for when I'm traveling. We are doing Japan this year, along with some cities in the US. So there's that, and I hope to meet you. Uh, there's also life coaching happening at the studio. You can get one-to-one life coaching with me. I specialize in organization and productivity. So we're looking at things to help you manage yourself, maximize your time, and maximize your creativity so you can maximize your finances. I do the same thing. So I'm not sharing with you anything that I don't do. And as a multi-passionate creative, I do find it extremely important that we're organized so that we can maximize on our time and our creativity. So there's that. So there will be one-to-one coaching. The energetic offering for that is $444. And yes, I do take payment. I do like offer payment plans and all of that good stuff. But that's so that you can live your best life as a creative in your own right. So if you look at me and you're like, oh my God, I really love how she built her business, I will give you and share with you everything, all the resources that I use that um are related to what you want to do and where you want to be. I will be your accountability buddy for 3 months, for 90 days, and you will have one-to-one access to me so that you can really get the things out that you need. I've been through coaching where coaches have not been responsive, but they expect you to pay. They expect you to pay on time, but they're not really doing their job. So I take it really personal when I say that I coach. I like to show up and be there. And when I'm not, I let you know why or when I will be available, all of the things, so that way it's no guesswork. The same way I take tattoo personally, I take life coaching in general personally. So I do both with just as much fervor and just as much energy, and just as much uh, emotional intelligence and care, love and kindness, grace, all of those things extended. So there's that. Last but not least, Black Tattoo Anthology has a festival coming up in October, and that is the best way to see what the Tattoo Priestess is all about and what I'm building and what's to come and all of those good things. It is going to be so exciting. Um, the festival. The festival is in October and it is the 25th through the 27th. It's a weekend. And it's going to be pretty fun. So I hope you guys come. There are 3 tiers. There's VIP experience where there's a gala, and you can come show off your tattoos and network and all of that good stuff. Fine wine. I have this big vision of Black people really, really being able to share their tattoos, um, and share what they look like and have pride, but also be draped in like the finest. What? And really, really bring that back out, bring that pride out, that I own myself, that self-reclamation, that radical self-love, yeah, that's my vision. So that's VIP. There's also just artist entry, and not just, but if you want to come as a creative and have access to some of the workshops, to have access to all the workshops, all the creative workshops, so that you can grow and you can take resources back. If you're looking for things about social media, about how to market mindfully, all of those things will be there, along with all of the things that literally just make you. There will also be live tattooing. So the last tier is literally just general admission. So if you just want to come get tattooed, just hang out on the floor, hang out just in the festivities, just the festival alone, nothing else, then that tier is for you. Black Tattoo Culture Con welcomes everybody. So just because there is Black in the name, that means that it is a Black specific and a Black honoring space. That does not mean that because you are not Black that you cannot come. Just don't come no bullshit. That's all. That's it. That's all. Respect the space, respect the people, respect the offerings that are being had in those spaces, as we commune with our own ancestors, as we thank them for our own creative intuition, as we thank them for our own creative know-how, as we thank them for our own creative prowess and our own creative brilliance, as we ask them to guide us, going forward in building more Black dynasties and being able to become competitive in this economic landscape, in this creative economic landscape. Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't mean that it negates anybody. Come. If there is something there for you and it is something that helps you, please enjoy, feast, feed, get fat. But respectfully, if you are not Black, while you come feast, feed, and get fat, be respectful of the people and the culture. Be respectful of the space. Be mindful of where you are and know that it is Black space first. That's it. That's all. So, Black Tattoo Anthologies, Black Tattoo Culture Con is going to be amazing. At Culture Con, we'll also be dropping the main products that we'll be introducing. We'll be introducing an app. There will be filming, and you can see the docu-series. You can see the premiere or the preview. Sorry, the preview for the docu-series. There will also be talk and ways to purchase Black Tattoo Anthology book, Black Tattoo Culture Con Volume 1, coming soon, written by your girl with all the tattoo philosophies, all of them. We'll be covering racism in tattoo culture, Black wellness in tattoo culture, apprenticeships, art, and business. Those are the things that we'll be covering in the book that we'll be talking about. And I'm not just talking about them from my perspective. You will also meet OG tattoo artists. So this is a conversation that has been had with tattoo artists who helped rear me. So my living ancestors as well as some of the younger tattoo artists and people who are within my peer space, people who I've either had the chance and the know-how to mentor or support in some way. And they just inspire me. So I asked them to come have conversations. So yeah. So that's Black Tattoo Anthology. So those are the three ways to move forward is get tattooed, get coached, come party at Black Tattoo Culture Con. And that's pretty much it. So we'll call it a wrap for this video, for this life update. I don't know what the next video is going to be, and I'm not going to promise you anything, but I will say check out the older posts and the other podcasts on Dear Black Creative. Also, if you want to stay close to Black Tattoo Anthology at blacktattooanthology.com, you can subscribe. And as we have podcasts popping up, because there is a podcast, Tattoo Rants, Raves, and Rituals, that will be coming soon from Black Tattoo Anthology. It launches soon. Actually, I am putting this life update over there as well, so you can catch it at Shoppe Gals, or you can catch it at Black Tattoo Anthology. It is very raw, but it is the cursor to what's to come. So let's go. The podcast, Tattoo Rants, Raves, and Rituals, is just what it sounds like in the name. We will be ranting about stuff, we will be raving about stuff, and we will be ritualizing things. And we will be talking ritual, we will be staying in ritual, we will be communing in ritual, ritualizing things. So that way we can get some collective energy going and get Black Tattoo Anthology like really, really out there. Really, really out there. It's needed. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next podcast. Be sure to subscribe. If you are on Dear Black Creative, please, please, please visit littleinkplayshop.com and subscribe there. Or how else can you subscribe? I'll just leave a link. How's that? Make it really easy. I will leave a link. You can subscribe to my email list. You can subscribe to Black Tattoo Anthology, so that you know what's going on there. And yeah, let's go. Let's get this party started, y'all. It's 2024. Ashe. Yeah. Feeling good. Feeling great. Feeling great. How are you? Janae Gambate.